the biggest trade in NBA history happened at like midnight Eastern time. Unless you're living on a rock, or maybe you're just waking up to this news. Luka Doncic has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for a 2029 first round draft pick, Max Christie, and Anthony Davis. The Lakers will receive Luka, will receive Maxi Kleber, and I believe one other player. And I think the Jazz get like a player and some other stuff, right? So a player and some picks. This is the craziest trade I've ever seen in my life. There is no other trade that's like this. This is one of the biggest trades that not just happened in NBA, to happen in North American sports history. It happened in the dead of night when half the country's asleep, half the world's asleep, and they just did it. This is insane. Luka Doncic, 25-year-old Luka Doncic for 31-year-old Anthony Davis. And the Mavs GM came out and said that defense wins championships. I'm sorry. Luka Doncic wins championships, has a potential to win championships. AD is a top 75 player. AD is an NBA champion. These two things are true. But a couple of months ago, you being the Mavericks, were in the NBA Finals because of that man Luka Doncic, and you traded him. Because here's the thing. Yes, you have Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis didn't want to be that guy for the Lakers. Let me take my glasses off. Anthony Davis didn't want to be that guy for the Lakers. What makes you think he's going to want to be that guy for the Mavericks? I know Klay Thompson is sick to his stomach. Kyrie Irving too, but I think he truly does love being in Dallas, so maybe he doesn't really care. I mean, he cares, but maybe he'll get over it. But Klay Thompson has to be sick to his stomach. Sick to his stomach, man. I mean, I'm being very... Luka Doncic? You don't just trade your franchise player literally in their prime. Literally in their prime. You don't just do that. There is something deep to this story, and I cannot wait for it to come out because someone demanded a trade. Either Luka demanded a trade or Anthony Davis demanded a trade, but there's reports coming out that Anthony Davis was completely blindsided by this, and they traded his ass. And I don't believe that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And the reason why I find it hard to believe is that Rob Pelinka is just, to me, he's not a good GM. So and he's not aggressive. To me, he's not aggressive for the right reason. I just don't see how he pulled this off. So I think it's more of Luka was like, hey, I demand a trade, and I'm only going to the Los Angeles Lakers. That's it. It can get real. But even if he did that, like, usually when stars do that in the NBA, you hear about it for days. Like with the De'Aaron Fox trade, he didn't like demand, like, I need out immediately, but he was just like, hey, I'm open to it. I have some teams. Like, you guys figured it out. I'm not signing to this team, and I just don't care anymore, right? And so they're shipping him around. Jimmy Butler shipping him around. This Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic trade just seemed like one of those teams called the other and was like, this is what we're finna do. This is who we want. And the other team was like, that's all you want? And the trade happened immediately. I mean, the Los Angeles Lakers were in New York City playing primetime basketball. They literally were just on ESPN playing for an hour and some change. And now they lost one of their top 75 players. I can't see a scenario where the Lakers don't win this trade. There's a lot of defense going to be missing with AD, and I'll get into it in a second. The Mavericks, man, my brother's a Mavericks fan, and he's in shambles. Mavericks Twitter looks like they're in shambles. I truly feel for Mavericks fans, bro. Here's the thing about the Mavericks. Usually when you do a trade like this, especially a trade like, there is no other trade. There is no other trade that encapsulates this. But when you give away one of your star players, usually at bare minimum, you're trading him to the other conference so that you don't have to go through him in order to get to the finals. Like, you rather meet him in the finals than have to go through him and help with your competitors because seeding and all this other stuff. So usually, like, I can understand they're like, oh, Luka's going to the Magic to do a to pair with Bonker. Like, I can see that, but like, or insert Eastern team there. But to be like, hey, we're going to give you to the Los Angeles Lakers for Max Christie. I know Anthony Davis is part of the trade, but like, all it took was Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first round pick in 2029. One first round pick in like for your franchise in the prime player, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is going to destroy the NBA market because now teams are going to look at the Heat especially and be like, you guys want to get off Jimmy Butler? Well, the the Mavericks just offloaded Luka Doncic for one draft pick, Max Christie, and Anthony Davis. I'm getting, if you want to get rid of Jimmy Butler, which you need to get rid of him more than, like that's your priority right now as a team, I can give you scraps and you don't have to go take that. Or you're just going to have to like just let Jimmy be home and just have a miserable season, be miserable around. Because there's no way I'm seeing Mikal Bridges took like 5 picks. Luka took 1 pick in the pick that's so far from. LeBron's gonna be out of the league by the time that's up, man. This is crazy. I've never seen something like this. I don't know, like, where do we go from here? What do we do? How do... Listen, Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler, and some other names we don't even know about yet, your time is coming. If not this season, off season, your time is coming. Because this kind of blockbuster trade is like, okay, Steve Ballmer's not going to stay quiet. Steve Ballmer, the owner of the LA Clippers, is definitely, I'd be shocked with his big bank. He doesn't try to go make some moves. Because I'm not saying Luka moves the needle that much to the point where it's like, oh, they're a championship team guaranteed. It's just that the way it happened, where it's like in the stealth of night and no one knew about it until it was just a done deal, is insane. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do. All I know is that the NBA landscape has been shaken, and we're going to see eventually when Luka gets healthy, a court being shared on the same team of Luka Doncic and LeBron James. I know LeBron James he's been wanting to give the reins to Anthony Davis for so long. Now he gets a young prime star who loves handling and dribbling the ball, loves getting shot off, can make magic happen. LeBron can now coast on offense, and maybe that'll lead him to try more on defense. Now that he knows he doesn't have to be like like Luka can fucking score the ball. Luka can score the basketball. LeBron doesn't have to worry about, okay, if I don't get like 4, like tonight he had a 30-something point triple-double. He's like, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. I can just facilitate or at least like be a threat on offense a little bit, and I can put way more energy onto the defensive side of the ball. Not only that, now I can get, hopefully, if all things are all fair and perfect, is that, okay, now I can get a little bit more rest on the bench, and I have another shot creator who's going to be another starter who's a shot creator, and I can get a lot more rest being that I'm 40-something years old. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's hard pressed that this is all it took, and the Warriors could, like, there's some teams where I'm like, you wouldn't give up this and this and this player for that player. And it's like, I cannot wait to see the news come out. I just can't wait to see the news come out. So we're going to see. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Luka Doncic has been traded to Los Angeles Lakers. Crazy.